Welcome to Your Inner Advocate, a podcast by Kimen Petersen, formerly Conversations with Kimen. This podcast is a space for inspiration, soulful insights, and meaningful life lessons. Your host, Kimen Petersen, draws from personal stories and powerful conversations with remarkable people to help illuminate your path. These episodes reflect his lived experiences and thoughtful perspectives, all aimed at encouraging you to live life with greater authenticity, joy, and ease. Your Inner Advocate is here to help you tune in, trust your inner wisdom, and move through life with more clarity, flow, and fulfillment.
Why do we wait? Why do we wait for January 1st? For Monday? For permission? For the right moment? Because all along the way, we were taught the greatest delusion about all. The delusion that we have time. But the truth is, nothing is guaranteed. Not tomorrow, not next year, not even the next hour. Life is calling us to step up, to step forward, to move forward every single moment, every single day. You know, it's almost like we've been conditioned to believe that change requires a calendar, a special date. We can't change until this one moment. That growth only starts when the new year resets. But here's the truth. Your life actually doesn't operate on a schedule. It doesn't wait for resolutions. And life does not pause so you can feel ready. The word someday is the most dangerous word on this planet. It's the graveyard where we bury dreams. You know, there is a cost to waiting. Every time you delay, you strengthen your hesitation and you weaken your trust in yourself. And every day you delay, have you ever heard that it takes 21 days to create a habit? Approximately. It might not be science, but let's use it as benchmark. So what are you teaching yourself in the next 21 days? Are you creating a habit of delay, of procrastination, of not stepping out and stepping forward? Or are you creating a new habit? Starting today, starting small, starting not ready, starting messy, but just starting. Because waiting doesn't protect you from failure. Waiting only steals the momentum that you need to move forward. And the longer you wait, the heavier the start's going to feel. You know, the only cure for fear is action. Have you ever noticed that? When you're terrified, and you're paralyzed, and then you start moving, or you have to go and talk in front of a group, and on your way up, you're shaking. But once it gets going, once this gets started, once you get moving, the fear tends to dissipate, and it's not as bad. So action cures fear, but the inaction will start growing doubt. And this is one of the truths that, you know, I listened to this speaker a few years ago. I went down to LA and did this weekend conference with Tony Robbins. And I know partially controversial figure, maybe or maybe not. But the truth is, I think his intention is really good. Maybe it's not perfect for everyone, but he has some really good stuff. And one of the things he said is that it's human nature. In human nature, we will do more to avoid pain than to achieve pleasure. And maybe you've had this. I'm going to work really hard, get into really good shape, and when I get there and I lose that weight and I feel really good, or when I get this done, then I get to reward myself with something. And it's really not that motivating in the end. It's very slow. What he said is, if you really, really want to cause any change in your life, it's actually quite simple. You just have to get incredibly present to how the pain of staying the same is so much greater than the pain of change. And when you do that, you'll just change automatically. So think of that. If there's something you've really wanted to change in your life and you haven't been able to yet, consider that the fact is maybe you're sitting in, it'll hurt more to change than it will to stay the same. So all you've got to do is get really present to the pain of staying the same. So sit with me for a minute here. Think about this. You have this dream, this goal. Maybe it's been there for a long time. Maybe it hasn't been there that long. And yet you're waiting. You're waiting for a moment. You're waiting to learn. You're waiting till you know enough. You're waiting till you're good enough. Maybe you're waiting to feel ready. But the truth is, being ready is not a feeling. It's a decision. And imagine if you sit for the next 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 20, 50 years afraid of the pain of change. So you never ever start. And you're sitting at the end of this existence, thinking, I wish I did. Now come back to this present moment and let me give you the pain of staying the same and the truth about life. You will never be this young again. You're never, ever going to be this young again. This moment is the youngest you'll ever be for the rest of your life. You will never have this amount of clarity, this amount of capacity, and you'll never have this moment again. Not because things will just get worse, but because this moment's already passing. Honestly, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to have the whole plan. You don't even have to see the full staircase. You just have to take the first step. Because the price of not taking that step, go way out 50 years. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Come back to now. Take the step. Watch the momentum build. step after step after step, and go ahead 50 years now and see, wow, what a ride. I accomplished more than I ever dreamed. One of the greatest enemies to everything in our life, to trying anything new, is this idea of perfection. And we don't delay because we're lazy, because the majority of the people I know are definitely not lazy. And maybe it's just the cohort I end up working with. And once again, going back to, we delay because we're waiting to feel ready. Good enough, to the perfect moment. But readiness is not a feeling, like I said, it's a decision. You know, I've heard this quote a few times, and it's pretty good, but then I like to take it to another level. You don't rise to the level of your goals. Not normally, right? You fall to the level of your systems. And what I think that means is there's some people who have incredibly big goals, but they don't have an approach that works. And maybe it's like, well, yeah, that's a big goal, but like, oh, that's too much work right now and I'll do it later. Or, I'm not quite ready for that, but, that's kind of like what I'd like to do. Because honestly, there is the difference between a dream, something you'd really like to have, but don't feel like you'll ever accomplish or don't ever take the steps to move towards, and a goal, which is a goal is something which you actually are taking steps and moving towards. So a dream is out there. It's ethereal. And a goal is concrete. It's stable. This is the reason why they say when you're setting a goal, it needs to be specific and measurable and have a timeline. So what can you do? Like, how do you create a system, right? And you got to realize that the very first step is so much more important than the plan. I remember I saw this quote once that said, write your goals in pen, but write your plan in pencil. Because honestly, you don't need the whole map. Yeah, you do have to have a kind of an idea where you want to end up, but you don't need the whole map because things are going to shift and change and opportunities are going to show up. And sometimes things are going to accelerate and sometimes things are going to slow down. But that's just how it works. So all you need is the first step. Write down the goal, speak it out loud, and take one small action. Say you're trying to get into shape. You don't have to go out and run a marathon tomorrow. Today, now, put this on pause. Go out, put on some shoes, go run 1 block, if you can. If you can't, then walk a block. If you can't run or walk, just crawl. Crawl if you must. But start. Just start one small action. Don't wait for New Year's. And think about this. You got to stop romanticizing about the beginning. Because we sit here and we spend all this time and energy fantasizing about the starting and how it would, like how it's going to be perfect and my hair is going to be done and I'm going to be like running through the wind and my hair's flying like Fabio and oh man. Starting is actually awkward and it's messy and it's uncomfortable, but that's how you know it's real. It's like you fall down, you get up, you start again. You fall down, you get up, you start again. You fall down, you start up, you start again. You fall down, you get up, and you don't fall down again. And you work towards your goal. The truth is, the willingness to be bad at something is the price of being good at something. You have to learn, literally, you have to learn to balance on your hands and legs in order to crawl. And you have to learn how to crawl in order to work your way to standing. And you have to be willing to fall down a whole ton of times to get to the point of walking. And sometimes you have to do this over and over and over. And as human beings, we are incredible. If we put our brain on something and we go at it, like a child, does a child fall down 99 times and says, I guess walking is not for me? No, they just keep on trying and trying and trying. So maybe sometimes we got to be like a child. Maybe we know too much. Maybe we have too much going on in our head. Maybe they don't have as much. Maybe that's why they're so determined. Maybe we have to be childlike in the pursuit of our dreams and goals. You ever see a child running, fall down, cry for about a minute, maybe two, get up, wipe away the tears, start running again, fall down again, cry, and they don't lie there on the ground going, oh no, I fell and this means I'll never be able to run and this is horrible. No, they don't. They're just they get it out and they get back out there. And I'm not trying to minimize the shit you've been through, part of my language. I'm not trying to minimize all the tough moments. I'm trying to get you to take a look at it from a different angle. Because there's things you could think about, like courage is not the absence of fear. It's taking action in the face of fear. When you are feeling like you're never going to succeed at your dream, but you keep on getting up over and over, the act of getting up builds resilience and strength, right? We don't measure a man or a person or a woman or a human being on this planet by the fact that they can be knocked down. We measure them by the way they rise every single time. Think about it. Like creating a habit, 21 days, 21 days of discipline, 21 days of getting back up, 21 days of getting going. That's going to build discipline. And discipline is self-respect. Because the truth is, motivation will fade at times. There will be times when what's going on in your life is not aligning with your dreams, because success is never really linear. So motivation is going to fade in those moments. But if you have discipline will stay. And it's not about punishment, it's about devotion. And what are you devoted to? You're devoting to a person who's willing to stand up every day of the year when they're called. Every small promise you keep to yourself, every single one, you're building trust in yourself. You become someone you can rely on. Your word becomes so powerful that when you put your word to something, you just make it happen no matter what. What's the greatest thing in your life that you want to achieve right now? Not talking, you don't need to know everything you want to do in this entire life, but what's one thing? And how about you give yourself the word that I will do everything in my power to get there? I will give it my honest effort every day from here till achievement. Because the truth is, your identity is going to be built in your action. You don't become confident in order to act. You're not confident before you act. You become confident because you act, because you have acted over and over, because you've fallen down and gotten back up. That's where confidence comes from. Each step is physical evidence that I am someone who shows up. And I show up every day. I don't choose a certain day to start. I start every day. Because the truth is, your habits are going to shape your identity. And the other truth is, your identity is going to shape your future. So why would you hold on to an identity that doesn't work? And like I said, do it every day, not just once. Because this isn't about a big moment, one big moment. This is about daily choosing yourself. Every day you ask, what is one thing I can do today to move forward? And I'm just looking, somebody gave me this really cool coaster, which is right by my office desk. I see it every day. And it says, do something today that your future self will thank you for. That's the kind of thing I look at every day. And recently for Christmas, I got this amazing, piece of artwork, just reminding me of a quote that I hold near and dear to my heart. And this is the quote that has me stand up every time I fall. And it's the quote. It's like a theme song for me, because I want to reach the top. I want to be the best I can be. I want to be better than the best I can be, actually. And I saw this quote a while back, and I started telling it to people, especially the people going through the roughest times in their lives. And it is, if you can't meet yourself at the bottom, you will never meet yourself at the top. Because you can only feel joy as much as you can feel sorrow, and you can only feel proud as much as you can feel defeated. We're human beings. It's a range of emotion. So I'd like you to light yourself on fire. But on fire, inspire. Not on fire, terrified. It's like urgency without panic. Because it isn't about fear. It's about being alive. 100% fully alive. It's about being inspired, in spiritus, in the spirit. And urgency actually doesn't mean rushing. It means not postponing your life, not waiting for New Year's, not waiting for any special numerological date or anything. Because if you don't start now, today, one day you will have wished you had started today. So I have an invitation for you. If right now you're waiting for New Year's, which is coming up quite quickly, today is December 21st, 2025. So we're only 10 days from New Year's. But if you have been waiting for New Year's, if you've been waiting for the right moment, if you've been waiting for something perfect, if you've been waiting, this is your sign now. Not January, not Monday, now. Write it down. Make a plan. And not tomorrow, right now. Take one step. Just one step. And then don't wait a week, don't wait a month for step 2. Because all we got is now, and now, and now, and now, and now. The past doesn't exist. It's gone. It's just a memory. Whatever happened back there has no bearing on your future. And the future, unless you're taking the past and putting it into the future's a blank slate. It doesn't matter where you've been. The only thing that matters is where you're going in this life. Think about it. When you're driving, how big is the windshield and how big is the rearview mirror? And there's a reason why the rearview mirror is so small. Because you're not going that way. So in closing, start before you're ready. Like, start before you're ready. You don't need permission. You don't need certainty. You just need to begin, because the perfect moment is not any other moment than now. And it's gone. But this one's still here. Thanks for joining me today. Happy New Year. If there's one resolution I want you to make today when you hear this, is that you'll never again wait for one certain day to start. Start now. Start every moment. Start every day. Start with your actions. Start with your thoughts. Start with your feelings. You're never going to be younger than you are in this moment. You're never again going to have the amount of time you have. Thanks for listening. And if anything you do, keep on building your own inner advocate.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Your Inner Advocate, a podcast by Kimen Petersen, formerly Conversations with Kimen. If you found value in today's episode, please follow, like, and share the podcast with someone who you think may benefit from it. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and connect on Instagram at your_inner_advocate. Until next time, keep listening to and developing your inner advocate.